A big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it. Use mine every single day. Callie's going to be back in just a few minutes.
So glad to have you with us this Sunday afternoon. Welcome, I'm Callie Northagen. We are delighted to have Andrew Lessman joining us today with an array of amazing today's specials. Because you know what, summer is here, and with that we are bombarded, our eyes with the glare, with the sun, the harmful rays of the sun, yet we want to be outside, out and about and enjoying the summertime. So we're going to be talking about the finest, most comprehensive natural supplementation that is brought to us by the one and only Andrew Lessman and ProCaps Laboratories out in Henderson, Nevada. We're going to start with the incredible eye support. This is the only day all year that we not only offer them at the Today Special pricing, but we offer the larger cap count. One time a year, a lot of us wait for this day to be able to stock up and get the biggest cap count. Now, the reason I have two different choices here is because you can choose this with or without the astaxanthin. And Andrew's going to be telling us a little bit more about why you may want one or the other. I do want to remind you, though, that this is all about your eye health. We are here to talk about a very comprehensive blend of ingredients that promote the vision that we enjoy. It's probably the most important sense that we have out of the 5 that we've been given. So we are very, very happy to see the response that we've had today. We've got thousands of 5-star reviews on this product for both formulations, but this is the day to stock up to get the protection that your eyes need, especially the gentle little retina, its macular region. I mean, there's a lot of us that we need support during nighttime driving. If you're feeling like your eyes are dry or they're watering, there's so many reasons why you need the extra support that Andrew puts into his formula, and he is joining us this morning for him, this afternoon for us from California. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Hi, Callie. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. You look so happy today.
I'm happy every day.
Oh, I love it.
As my grandmother used to always say and always remind us as kids, a great day is a day when you wake up. You open your eyes and you're still here. That's a great day.
Aww.
So, and I think all of us, we realize that a great day really might start with us opening our eyes, but we also want to do the very best we can to take care of ourselves, because it's the most precious gift we have is our health. While you were speaking, it just reminded me, you talked about our senses, that, and I don't think people realize this, that as we age, our senses decline. Our hearing declines, it's normal. Our vision declines, it's normal. But if we allow, say, our hearing to decline, that just even uncorrected hearing loss is going to be associated with cognitive decline. So the integration of our senses with our brain is critical for brain function. And again, there's no greater evidence of that. They say that the eyes are the window of the soul. The eyes are kind of the window of what's going on in our body from really an anatomic and physiologic basis, that when we look at the levels of optical pigment, what is optical pigment? It's the lutein and zeaxanthin that has always been defining of my eye product. Now, other eye products on the market have copied us. They put lutein, they put zeaxanthin in their products. We have a version today for only a little bit more, for pennies a day more. You get an extremely expensive ingredient, astaxanthin, the 3 most important carotenoids for the health of your vision, the health of your eyes. But when we look at lutein and zeaxanthin in the eyes, and we see that healthy concentration in the retina, which that is where our body deposits it, because those optical pigments, it is part of the structure of the eye. These are not ingredients that will work on your eye and make your eye be healthier as you get older. No, these are structural components of the visual system of your eye. It's part of your eye, just as you look at calcium as being defining of your bone. It's the structure of your bone. Calcium doesn't work on your bone. Calcium is your bone. Protein is your muscle. Lutein and zeaxanthin is the critical optical pigment that defines the very structure and actually defines the very appearance of the retina. And again, if we think about the retina and the optical pigment concentration there, those of us with higher concentrations of optical pigment in our retina, that means we eat a diet richer in lutein or zeaxanthin, or we supplement with lutein or zeaxanthin. Those folks with a higher concentration of lutein and zeaxanthin in the retina of our eye are also going to be blessed with a brain that's going to age better. So there is a crystal clear association of lutein and zeaxanthin with eye function, with visual function as we age, sharper vision, better contrast, better tolerance of glare, bright light, better tolerance of darker spaces. If you look at all of those factors on visual function, who wouldn't want to embrace those things as we age? But when you embrace those things, I always say with my products, I'm gifted with something. I don't have to warn about side effects. That's for drug companies to warn about. It doesn't stop the other dietary supplement, other vitamin manufacturers. It seems like when they talk about a product like this, they're talking about a drug. They talk about it almost in the context of treating eye disease. I look at this as being so much better than that, because just as calcium is a critical component of bone, lutein and zeaxanthin that I've been talking about for decades, long before anyone else, lutein and zeaxanthin, it's a critical part of how your eye functions. We don't get it from our diet in America. So it's an opportunity to make a profound difference, not just in eye function, but and it's funny now when I look at the research before my shows, it used to be for decades, all the research on lutein and zeaxanthin talked about the eye and the retina and the lens and age-related changes in the eye, and how lutein and zeaxanthin were critical to basically stem the tide of aging, the effects of aging. Now, when I look at the research, when we put together a research package before my shows, so many of the studies, so many of the abstracts, there's almost an equal amount talking about brain function, cognition, visual processing speed. And think about, what's visual processing speed? Visual processing speed is reading. The ability, think about what we do when we read. We look at these little squiggles on a page. These little squiggles are assembled into words, and those words are assembled into sentences and paragraphs. And we kind of look at it in a holistic framework, and that becomes information that we process. That's visual processing. The levels of lutein and zeaxanthin we have in our optical pigment and we have in our brain, they are both related to one another. That's the visual processing speed that we get to take with us as we age, or not. So for me, lutein and zeaxanthin, it's why I'll show you in a moment a chart on the healthiest sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, notwithstanding the fact that I take 2 capsules of this every day. And even if I took 1 capsule a week, given the typical American diet, that would more than double the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin you get in a week from 1 capsule. That's how potent this is. I would recommend taking 1 or 2 capsules a day, but even at 1 capsule a week, you're making a profound change in the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in the retina of your eye and also in your brain. And again, when you look at those large population studies, there's usually 2 groups. There's a group who smoked and a group who didn't smoke. And you look at the association of diseases with smoking. Which group do you want to be a member of? When it comes to lutein and zeaxanthin and the health of your eyes, the health of vision, the health of your brain as you age, which group do you want to be a member of? For me, I really want to be a member of that group getting all the benefits of lutein and zeaxanthin, which is why I make sure I eat things like spinach, kale, mustard greens, collard greens, pea soup. Peas are just an incredible source of lutein. Very difficult to get zeaxanthin. And then I also, my insurance policy, instead of it being all I rely on, Ultimate Eye, it's my insurance policy. I know what I need to eat in my diet, and then I make sure that I have a healthy, sort of the icing on the cake. The foundation is my diet. The lutein and zeaxanthin and Ultimate Eye makes sure I get what I need. I mean, doing what I do, I'm now in my, 7th decade? I'm nearing the end of my 7th decade. Doing what I do requires that I have a lot of information at my disposal. and a lot of information at my disposal about dozens and dozens of products. I don't have a teleprompter here. I don't have any notes. I rely on my brain. We all rely on our brain. And we're all blessed or gifted with whatever faculties we possess. And then the question is, what do we do with them? Do we ensure that we take advantage of the gifts that Mother Nature gives us to enhance and to retain those faculties? Or do we just throw caution to the wind and it is what it is? We end up with whatever we end up with. And I still remember my dad always telling me, probably for the last 20 some odd years of his life, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. I remember those words, and my dad remained with me until he was 90 years of age, so that's wonderful. But I still remember those words, that it's so important if we want to have the quality of life down the road that we really don't appreciate the consequences of today, then now is the time to make the simple decisions. And this can be incredibly economical. These are the most expensive ingredients: lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, the anthocyanins from bilberry and blueberry. These are very expensive ingredients, very expensive components. Today, this product at one capsule in the large size is a little over 20 cents a day. Never been this affordable. We lowered the price dramatically when we changed the formula dramatically, improved the formula dramatically 5 years ago. I thought that price would never continue. We maintain that same best price ever today. So it's an incredible opportunity. The version with astaxanthin, as I was saying, when you look at these ingredients, lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, even the anthocyanins from bilberry, it was all about the eye for 20, 30 years while I offered these products. Now the research rolls in. It's about the brain. It's about the heart. It's about skin. So no side effects to warn you about. Just you're going to enjoy all sorts of other benefits. And you don't have to get this. It just requires a little bit of focus on your diet. And again, if you read the research on these ingredients, find the best product you can that offers lutein, zeaxanthin, and as we do, the mesozeaxanthin as well. All three of those are critical to get the benefits of these natural ingredients.
And what you do with your line, and I always love showing your facilities out in Henderson because I stand in awe of you and respect you so much. But what you do is not add the fillers, not add all the things, the colors, the dyes, the things that other manufacturers do. You are a vertical operation. You have such integrity. So I'd love to show that, but more importantly, even before we do that, I wanted to show everybody, Andrew, how easy your capsules are to actually swallow and absorb. So this is like one of the capsules, very, very small and tiny, but I wanted to show everybody the color. I'm always fascinated by this product because the color is, watch this.
You're not going to be opening those capsules at home. Callie just punctured that with a little pin, but what you're looking at there, that's mostly the carotenoids you're looking at, but also the anthocyanins. So you're talking about pigments. When it comes to your eye, and I talked about this last night, it's pretty fascinating that if you put on a pair of yellow sunglasses, all of a sudden, they used to have sunglasses called blue blockers, the world looks sharper and clearer. Those are the natural pigments. That's the zeaxanthin, the lutein, the astaxanthin in particular is that orange color. But those pigments, when they go to work in your eye and they play their filtering role, there's something I said last night that a friend of mine texted me and said I had to be kidding, that if you put on a pair of glasses that inverted the world, so you put on a pair of glasses, everything was turned upside down. You kept those glasses on. Most of us don't realize that eventually our brain will step in and the world will be right side up. So our brain has this incredible relationship with our visual system, our eyes. So again, when we use these protective compounds, lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, lutein and zeaxanthin are defined as the optical pigments that are a critical part of the anatomy and the function of the retina of our eye, the critical portion of the visual system in our eye. When those filters go to work, and they enhance the sharpness of our vision, the contrast of our vision, the richness of our vision, our ability to tolerate glare. When they go to work, what does our brain do? Our brain makes sure that we only end up with that crystal clear vision. There's no change of color due to those filtering compounds. So Mother Nature, our genetics, it is a wonderfully evolved system that we possess. And the only question is, to what degree we're going to value this gift, to what degree we're going to deliver to our body the tools necessary to protect it, to enhance it. And we're talking about last night that there's no time at which you can't benefit from these ingredients. If you think, oh, I'm 80 years old, it's too late. You'll find hundreds of reviews amid the thousands of reviews for this product saying it is never too late. In fact, almost the older you are, the more your body will crave the gifts when your body finally gets to take advantage of them. I just was going to show the formula here quickly and a few other charts that, and this is the formula, the key ingredients. There's 12,000 micrograms of lutein, 6,000 micrograms of zeaxanthin, and that's shared between zeaxanthin and mesozeaxanthin. Also 4,000 micrograms of astaxanthin, bilberry extract. Those ingredients alone are four of the most expensive ingredients in any product I make. Our product today is less expensive per capsule than it was 30 years ago. And it's much higher potency than it was 30 years ago. It's the best pricing ever per capsule. So it's just when you look at all of the ingredients in there, and when you go down here, my original eye product, vitamin A, C, E, zinc, copper, that was my original eye product from probably 35 or 40 years ago. And we've enhanced it. We've made it better every year. And we continue to just make it the most extraordinary value in eye care. And again, I often say this about CoQ10. When it comes to CoQ10, I've been doing that for 41 years. When it comes to lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin in an eye product, I've been doing that probably for over 30 years. So it's an opportunity to get these ingredients, not from some marketer who has the product made by a contract manufacturer, but by someone who went to the trouble of going through the process of validating each and every one of those ingredients. So it's not just a contract manufactured product that you see on typical store shelves and typical online. And again, hopefully, I feel like I have to apologize this whenever I do a video, whenever I'm on TV. Most folks you see talking about supplements make all sorts of absolute claims, outrageous claims, and they're just marketers. And the law, even if there were 100 studies that said this product can make a difference in treating your age-related macular degeneration, that would violate the law. So it's not a matter of clinical science. It's a matter of integrity and respecting the law, that dietary supplements are not sold to treat pain or to treat a disease or treat a symptom of a disease. That's just plain unethical. And when a company starts positioning their products like that, don't think their products are special. Just think that they're lying and deceptive and willing to say whatever they can to extract your money. When it comes to an eye formula like this, lutein, zeaxanthin, they are so much more important than the drugs other companies try to position them as, because they are absolutely a part of the visual system in your eye. It's like calcium in your bone. What's more important than calcium in your bone? It's the very structure and strength and integrity of your skeleton and bone. The same for lutein and zeaxanthin when it comes to the function, beyond the function, the integrity and the protection of the retina of your eye, the sharpness of your vision, your ability to turn that visual energy, the energy, the light that's hitting our retina becomes something we see. Lutein and zeaxanthin, it's a critical part of that process. It's part of the visual system of your eye. So that is a respectful discussion, an ethical discussion of what these ingredients can do and what they mean to our healthy vision.
And I'm so glad you said that. And I don't know if everybody is aware of your incredible background and the reason you got into this business in the first place, having gone to, get your biochemistry degree, went to medical school, then law school. And I think it was in 1989 you left your law practice to really focus on your lifelong dream. And that is to have the ethics, or the ethical, approach to making a really good product without the stabilizers and the fillers and the preservatives and the flowing agents and all the things that other people do. And that's why I'll say it again, you're the finest supplement brand that exists.
No, mine was a convoluted path to get where I am today. Whether it's biochemistry and then choosing to study medicine and then choosing to leave that and choosing to study law, then choosing to leave that. And my parents, think along the way, thought I'd never figure out what I wanted to do. And when I decided that medicine wasn't for me, what I said to the dean of the school was, I said, I'll return to be a doctor when the focus becomes on wellness and not illness. And rather than profiting on illness, let's focus on prevention. And here it is. It's 40 years later. More than 40 years later, it's still a focus on illness and not a focus on wellness. So my focus is on wellness, looking at what opportunities are provided to us by Mother Nature, as validated by science. And as I always say, when I do a good job with a product, as I believe I've done with this product for decades, I take ingredients like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are a critical part of our visual system, which have been shown to help us combat those age-related changes that are just inevitable in life when it comes to our vision, even when it comes to our brain. But delivering them in a fashion where, when I do a great job, I find the best sources of these ingredients in nature. And then I get out of Mother Nature's way. I just make sure I deliver it to you in a way without those additives that Callie was talking about. All those other products have additives and excipients, binders and fillers and lubricants. Never an upset stomach, no warnings about allergens, because we don't use them in a product like this. It's just unnecessary. So it's purely about the benefits. And again, if you are not ensuring that your body is getting the lutein and zeaxanthin that are critical for the structure and the function of the retina of your eye, and also your brain as well, then with life and with a long lifetime will come consequence. So again, you don't have to get mine. And as I often say, it's something that I quote from a review that I often have read on air, that they said, you don't have to get Andrew's product, but you need to get what he's talking about. And here, I try to stay away from all the politics of health and wellness and just stick to the simple basics of the science, and to do it in a way that, yeah, I guess I don't sound as exciting as other people, because I won't make those absolute statements. I won't claim that this will treat or cure anything. I will only speak respectfully of the science. And that's being respectful to you, not just of the science. So hopefully it's appreciated for what it is, and it's not diminished because I won't make those crazy, outrageous, provocative statements you see on social media.
Which is why I respect you so, so much. You know how I feel about you, Andrew, and I truly am honored every time I get to work with you. I want to just really quickly address the pricing today, because this is the day. We wait one time a year we get to do this. It was last May that we did this as a Today Special. So the eye support, you can see right now, this is without the astaxanthin. Normally this is going to be a $300 720 cap count. This is the only day we do the 720, but you can see you're saving almost as much as you're spending. And if you go with the astaxanthin for brain and all the other benefits Andrew mentioned, you're gonna see you're saving more than you're spending. So all cap counts available with or without, but today is the day to stock up. And before our time runs out on this first Today Special, Andrew, I know there's a lot of science that you wanted to talk through and share with everybody as well.
I'm going to run through some charts. And I think what I'm going to do we now have an Instagram little kind of a social thing. And I'm going to start, we have so many charts. I'm going to start just doing videos there where I discuss the charts. And because I really don't have time to do the charts as I used to in the past at HSN. So first thing I wanted to show here was a chart. There's probably about 2 or 3 dozen studies now that basically show the exact same thing of this chart. And when you're looking at it in this chart, you're looking at cognitive function as we age. And this is cognitive function, normal cognitive function. This is impaired cognitive function. And what you're looking at on that chart, the yellow line is lutein levels. So as you see, elderly people, older people with good normal cognitive function have more than double the levels of lutein in their body, basically, in their optical pigment. And again, almost the same with zeaxanthin. So again, if you want to be part of the group with impaired cognitive function, lower lutein and zeaxanthin levels. Association doesn't necessarily mean causation, but when you look at the body of research and you look at visual function and how visual function relates to brain function and neurologic function, it's inescapable. that lutein and zeaxanthin levels are determinative of a healthy aging brain. And that's something I want to be able to take advantage of. And just if we, I'll just do a couple other charts here, then we'll get into some science quickly. So this is just the basic of this formula. It helps protect the retina and the macula from normal age-related change and oxidative damage. We all, as we age, our eyes are going to suffer just like everything in our body suffers with time. There's no escaping it. It helps combat normal age-related changes in clarity, density, and thickness of the lens, helps absorb harmful blue light and protects the macula and retina from ultraviolet high-energy radiation, promotes healthy visual accommodation and night vision, also improves sharpness of vision, contrast sensitivity, which is just richer vision. The world looks prettier. And just so we get a sense of how powerful this product is, the average daily intake of lutein by Americans is about 1.7 milligrams. You combine it with zeaxanthin, it's less than 2 milligrams. So if you take one capsule per day of this product, one capsule a week of this product, you're roughly doubling your intake of carotenoids. And of course, when you take this product, you're getting a little bit more than even the recommended levels of 6 to 14 there. You're actually getting 18 milligrams of lutein and zeaxanthin combined. So, and we're running out of time here. And lutein and zeaxanthin are xanthophyll carotenoids, primary constituents of a protective substance in the eye called macular pigment. Higher intake of these nutrients, either through diet or supplementation, has been associated with an increase in macular pigment, of course, and there is evidence that they may slow the progression of age-related changes in the eye. And again, this study after study after study, I don't have time to go through all of them. Maybe we'll just do one of these here. Let's see what this one is. Journal of Gerontology, that's a study of aging. In the last few years, there have been increased interest in the potential role of two carotenoids, in particular, lutein and zeaxanthin, in brain health. Higher plasma lutein and zeaxanthin were independently associated with better composite scores across the domains of global cognition, it's how our brain works, memory, and executive function. We also found evidence that higher plasma zeaxanthin, but not lutein, was associated with better processing speed. But again, there are dozens of studies that now confirm that lutein and zeaxanthin are not just associated with our eyes aging and our eye function, superior eye function as we age, but superior brain function as we age. So exciting opportunities.
Very exciting and very exciting science. I love it when you share all of that with us. Before we move on to other things, I'll just say again, today is the only day of the year that we do the bigger cap count. So stock up. 720 is either with or without the astaxanthin. It's your choice. The item is the same, 96450. Don't forget, there's free shipping for everybody on everything, and there's flex pay. There's 30 days to check something out and see for yourself, as you will enjoy the improvements in your vision. I was reading earlier this morning some of the incredible reviews. I was getting like kind of choked up. So many emotional thoughts and comments that people want others to know about, because this product has worked for so many people. We're going to go ahead. You want to read a few?
Well, I was just going to say, no, I was just going to encourage everyone, if you can, to either go to procaps.com or hsn.com and read the reviews. The reviews speak volumes about the quality of this product, the efficacy. It's inescapable. No one has an eye that doesn't need lutein or zeaxanthin. It's like saying, my bones, they don't need calcium. My bones don't require calcium. Lutein and zeaxanthin are the optical pigments. And what we're going to talk about next is another opportunity. It targets the lutein and zeaxanthin. So Ultimate Eye is the most comprehensive composite formula we make for eye health, also supports brain health. But the two most important ingredients in Ultimate Eye, lutein and zeaxanthin, this is a product that I designed thanks to my ophthalmologist, who said that some of his patients who in particular, we can actually change the graphic.
Yep, we're going to move on to the L plus Z.
Please. Yep, who in particular need exceptional levels of lutein and zeaxanthin. And you'll know who you are. It's like those those folks whose cardiologists recommend you take extra omega-3s, or ophthalmologists might recommend you take extra omega-3s. When you're looking at the two most important ingredients in my Ultimate Eye, that's what this formula is. Exclusively those two ingredients, not all the anthocyanins, not the EGCG from green tea, not all the other ingredients that protect your eye, but just the most important, those optical pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin. So if your doctor told you you need extra levels, then this is the most exceptional way to go about it. With one capsule a week, you're adding 18 milligrams of carotenoids, lutein, and zeaxanthin. The average person probably doesn't even get that in a week. So again, you're doubling the levels of lutein and zeaxanthin with just one capsule per week. Again, I recommend, say, one capsule per day. If your doctor told you you need to be at 12 milligrams lutein, 24 milligrams of zeaxanthin, you could either add one of this to your Ultimate Eye, or you could just take 2 of these a day. For some folks, this is their foundational Ultimate Eye product because they drink green tea daily. They make sure they have a diet rich in anthocyanins. So this can be that foundational access to all of the benefits of lutein or zeaxanthin for the eyes, for the brain. And again, when you look at the 18 milligrams per day of lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin that you're getting in this product, it is an absolute bargain. And again, it's at its best pricing
It is.
ever, and it's the best pricing of the year.
And it is the maximum L plus Z. As you can see, these are the cap counts. It's a different color entirely. I know the L plus Zs are often referred to as optical pigments. So whether it's for visual acuity and your sharpness of vision, visual processing speed, you can go ahead and order 30, 60, 120, or the big 240 cap count. As you can see, the savings are significant today. We don't have a ton of time on this one, but it is definitely something to support and enhance even further the sharpness of your vision. So we're going to move on to Andrew, something so exciting. I am beyond thrilled at what you've accomplished here. These are not what you've seen in the past. I know we see secure meal replacement bars and go, yay, yum. These are the Type 2, brand new. Today was the first day to launch them. Type 2 meaning if you're trying to control your blood sugar levels, this has now got no added sugar at all. 1 gram of sugar, still the same incredible low-calorie bar, 7 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. I love that these are vegan and dairy-free, and they're gluten-free, and they're non-GMO, and they're absolutely delicious, and they're a Today Special. Now, here's the thing. We've got 3 different choices in terms of flavors. You can do a 12-count, 24, or 36 bar. Now, keep in mind, you can mix and match. We have them in the delicious peanut butter chocolate chip. We have them in the chocolate brownie almond crunch, as well as the coconut almond cookie crunch. You can get 3 of one flavor. You can get 2 of the flavors if you're getting the 24 count, or 1 of all 3 if you would like. That's all listed right here on the graphic. But Andrew, they're so delicious.
They're
so
our
good.
original bars were delicious. What we've done here, it's as I always say, I get my marching orders from everyone out there. Well, you might not think so, but when you look at this product, you know who you are. You've been requesting, you said the Secure was great. And even though our standard Secure meal replacement bar, in 140 calorie bar, only 4 grams of added sugar. So basically less than a teaspoon of sugar. Still, for so many folks there, I mean, personally, I try to reduce my sugar intake. I know for so many folks, I think there are tens of millions of Americans who've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which oddly enough, that was not the origin of the name here. We basically we're working with 2 formulas. We have our standard Secure formula, and then we had our second type of Secure, our type 2 Secure. So it's interesting when you look at this product, so many of the folks who are watching their sugar intake are folks who either have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or perhaps they're pre-diabetic. This, of course, is not a cure or a treatment. What it is, it's a recognition that the sugar we consume needs to be reduced if we're type 2 diabetic, if we're pre-diabetic, or for some of us, it's just something that we've chosen to do, as I've chosen to do. So this bar is exactly what, in response to my original bar, I thought we did such a great job. And then lo and behold, we start getting all sorts of feedback at the company. We'd really like a bar with 0 grams added sugar. And then I even went online and I looked at all these different bars or these products that are designed for folks who might have type 2 diabetes, and they still had added sugar. And so I figured, okay, if we can make a bar that still tastes almost as good as our standard bar, but has 0 grams added sugar. And there's only 1 gram total sugar, in fact. And that 1 gram is like the sugar that's hidden away in the almonds or the peanuts. So it's just traces of sugar in those ingredients. And then the rest of the carbohydrate in the bar is slow digesting fiber, fructooligosaccharides, things like that. So this is a bar that you can be absolutely confident there's nothing in it that could possibly stimulate or trigger a sugar spike. In fact, it only was introduced a few days ago, and the 3 reviews we already have are 5-star reviews. And a couple of them mention something that I've been playing with, CGM, continuous glucose monitor. You can now get them without a prescription. So you could see how a food, see if you have like a fruit smoothie and watch where your blood sugar goes. Or have one of these, even on an empty stomach, and watch where your blood sugar doesn't go. So again, I was going to say it's amazing, but it really isn't amazing that if you don't deliver sugar in a product, there's not any kind of expected change you're going to see in your blood sugar levels. So it's taken a few years. We got that feedback immediately that a 0 gram sugar product was desirable. And it took a few years to successfully design this product. I think you'll be thrilled because not only is it almost as good as our standard secure bar, in fact, when we taste tested it among hundreds of folks at the company, these tasted better. These won hands down versus the standard secure bars. And although we'd expect this to be more expensive than the typical bar, this is the same today's special price from when we introduced our secure bar several years ago. So again, in the 36 count, I think it's somewhere around $1.50 a bar. So it's really extremely affordable. Plus, again, we succeed with the flavor and the taste, despite every bar containing 50% to 200% of the RDA of all key vitamins, meaning this will be the most nutritious meal snack of your day. I'd be hard pressed to eat a meal that has 50 to 200% of all key vitamins. I mean, that's pretty amazing, pretty remarkable, but that's what we successfully have done here. Plus, significant levels of calcium and magnesium as well. So there's nothing like these. I think you'll be thrilled. So if you're someone who's really watching your sugar intake, there's nothing to watch here. There's 0 grams added sugar. There's 1 gram barely total sugar. And again, as I said, that's just resident in the nuts and other components in the product. And that's it. So It's simple, it's delicious, and it's affordable.
And I tell you what, since we launched this at midnight, this is the very first day to ever make this available. You've been waiting and it is here, but we will not be able to even ship this product after this visit because the warm weather just prevents us being able to ship this product because it would probably just melt on the way to you. So this is not only the first of its kind, the only time until the fall that we can even ship it. And when I checked, when I got on air earlier this morning, these are well more than halfway spoken for today. Literally, way over half the quantities are gone. This is our second show with Andrew today, so don't wait. You've been waiting, you asked, he delivered with that 0 grams of added sugar, 0 added sugar. So yes, and I tell you what, I couldn't tell a difference if I could at all. They're almost even more moist. It's the wildest thing. They're so good.
No, I think they are more moist. And again, even more amazing than the 0 grams added sugar is the 1 gram total sugar.
Yeah.
And it's a 1 gram of total sugar that's kind of locked up in the peanuts and locked up in the almonds, in the chocolate. So when you will just be astounded. And if you're using a continuous glucose monitor, as I've been playing with, again, they're available without a prescription, and they're so insightful about how our body responds and how our blood sugar responds to what we eat. But it is a continuous glucose monitor is an opportunity to see just how remarkable the design of these bars is. I mean, it truly is incredible that with 1 gram, barely 1 gram total sugar, 0 grams added sugar, that you can experience a flavor, a richness of vitamins, of nutrition, and plus it's just plain delicious. I learned a long time ago that no matter how much I might succeed with the science on any product I make, if the experience of that product isn't enjoyable when it comes to a bar, it's going to be a sensory experience, a flavor experience. If that's unenjoyable, doesn't matter how good the science is, you're not going to be ordering or you're not going to be reordering the product. You know, our secure bars are amazing. They're 4 grams added sugar, and that was an accomplishment. And again, I was looking online for a product like this, a meal replacement product that so many folks who are trying to lose weight, part of the reason they're losing weight is we know that by losing weight and changing body composition, it enhances our blood sugar control. So many folks who are trying to lose weight and might want to take advantage of a meal replacement, because the best science beyond all the pharmaceutical drugs now, the best science on weight loss is a meal replacement. Even when you use those medications, a meal replacement is the best science to take advantage of when it comes to weight loss. So if we're trying to use a meal replacement to enhance weight loss, and so many of us who are trying to lose weight are doing so because it enhances blood sugar control, why wouldn't that meal replacement address the need for a product with no added sugar? And that's what this does. And there's a lot of different products you could see at your local drugstore or pharmacy that are designed with that in mind, but they're not designed as effectively, as intelligently, in as, dare I say, sort of a disciplined scientific fashion as this product. Plus, they don't taste anywhere near as delicious as this product. So this is a winner in terms of the science, but it's also a winner in terms of flavor. And so I think if your goal is giving your body tools that not just enhance, that what we're trying to do is to trigger our blood sugar management less. The less we trigger that system, the more we give our body an opportunity to not have to deal with those challenges. And that's exactly what this product does, because it contains 0 grams added sugar and only 1 gram total sugar. So again, it's not a drug or a treatment for type 2 diabetes, but what it is, it's exactly what your doctor is telling you to consume when your doctor is telling you to watch the sugar in your diet. That's how this was designed.
And they are, I will say again, so delicious. My personal favorite is the peanut butter chocolate chip. You will love them. Don't forget, you can do such a neat combination here today with our Today Special pricing. If you want a 12-bar count, just pick which flavor you'd like. You'd get the peanut butter chocolate chip. There's the chocolate brownie almond crunch, or there is of course, the coconut almond cookie crunch. If you get 24 bars, you can do 2 different flavors or 2 of the same. If you get the 36 bar, you can get all 3 flavors or all 3 the same, completely up to you. But again, today, and this is the last time for the year that we can ship these before, the fall, because it's just too warm in the summer. This is it, your brand new Type 2 Secure Meal Replacement Bars at special pricing today with free shipping, and absolutely you're gonna love the taste. Whether it's taking and packing it for a picnic or a hike, I take one in the morning with me on my way out to work with a cup of coffee, and this is my morning breakfast.
I ran out the door for the shows and I didn't eat anything, so I had one before the shows. So again, it's low in calories. You're talking about 140 calories. It's giving you protein, it's giving you fiber, it's giving you key vitamins more than any typical meal. So it's basically, when you look at the typical multivitamins on the market, this doesn't pale in comparison to the typical multivitamins. Plus, it's the proper form of B12, the proper form of folic acid, 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. There's nothing like it in the world of meal replacement. There's nothing like it in terms of respecting the challenge that as we get older, the challenge that our blood sugar management represents to our body. And that challenge to blood sugar management, it's challenging, but the consequences, the fallout of those challenges are what we try to avoid. And that's what this product is designed to respect. The reason why thousands of folks demanded that we change our Secure to have a 0 gram version is because so many Americans, tens of millions of Americans, are experiencing either we're being told we're pre-diabetic or being told we have type 2 diabetes. So we're paying careful attention to our sugar intake. And that's what I try to do here, is not pay careful attention, but pay absolutely rigorous attention to the sugar content. So 0 grams added sugar, barely 1 gram total sugar and carbohydrate that's easy to metabolize. So again, your blood sugar is not going to be highly reactive when you consume this bar.
Well, I'm very excited for all of you to try it, and we'll see how long this lasts over the course of the day. This being the brand new Type 2 Secure Meal Replacement. This is your day. This is your time. This is the best price of the year. 91534 is the item number. And we're going to move right along, Andrew. There's a couple things we're going to squeeze into our final few moments together today. The next item is the CoQ10. And this is an incredible product. In fact, I remember when I first met you 25, 26 years ago, I learned what the word ubiquitous meant when we offered this product together. So thank you for that.
Well, what's interesting is ubiquitous, you see it every once in a while. Ubiquitous is, if you see someone all over the place, they're ubiquitous. So ubiquitous means everywhere all the time. And CoQ10, its chemical name is ubiquinone. And because ubiquinone needs to be everywhere all the time, but unfortunately, as we age, it becomes less and less abundant in our cells, which presents challenges to our cells in terms of energy production, challenges to our organs and systems in terms of how efficiently they can operate. Also challenges because ubiquinone plays 2 roles, not just necessary for moving electrons in terms of energy production, but also it captures errant electrons, free radicals, and protects us from the damage those free radicals, those errant electrons might cause. So again, it's another one of Mother Nature's brilliant designs. But as we age, we just know time is the greatest enemy. None of us can outrun Father Time. And coenzyme Q10 is something that 1984, I designed my first product around it, long before anyone else. It's hard to believe my first CoQ10 product was now more than 41 years ago. And again, it's an ingredient that I had thought about many, many years before, but I couldn't make a CoQ10 product. And now I'm really dating myself until someone figured out how to make CoQ10 naturally. That was the obstacle. I knew how important it was, but it wasn't available. Then there was a company in Japan called Konica. Konica figured out how to make natural CoQ10 because it was clear that CoQ10 was going to be the most critical link in energy production in all the cells in our body, in the optimum functioning of the critical organs and systems in our body, like our brain, our heart, our liver. It's an ingredient that I never have gone a day without taking for the last 41 years. And I'm often asked, because you see all these biohackers out there talking about all these things we can do. First of all, the most important things we can do is if all you are is active every single day, try to maintain your body weight or body composition as close as you can to optimum. You're basically 99% home because metabolic disorders and challenges won't be there. So we often exaggerate the role that other components can play as anti-aging strategies. But if you want to look at what's at the very top of my list in terms of dietary supplementation, you're looking at it right now. The most important vitamin is vitamin D. And I've been saying that for 46 years, long before anyone else. In fact, with my early products, I used to have to explain to doctors why we were delivering higher levels of vitamin D. Today, those levels would be considered low levels, but back then it was considered high. But that's only because I was reading the science, and I could imagine that unfortunately the doctors were not reading the science. And again, when you look at coenzyme Q10, technically it's not a vitamin, but its name is very insightful because when vitamins go to work within your body, they go to work as a coenzyme typically. Coenzyme Q10 already has the word coenzyme as part of its name. The only reason coenzyme Q10 is technically not a vitamin is because your body can make a little bit of it. And technically, if your body can make a little bit of it, then something isn't a vitamin. Interestingly enough, technically, your body can make a little vitamin D. from the synthesis that occurs when your skin is exposed to UV radiation, sunlight. So we're looking at two very interesting exceptions to that rule. And CoQ10, as much as vitamin D is a critical vitamin, I would say CoQ10 is a critical vitamin because as we age, the levels of CoQ10 in our body go down dramatically. Stress, poor diet, the simple fact of aging, if we smoke, if we're exposed to environmental contaminants, pollution, the world we live in. So the challenges that we are exposed to as a result of CoQ10 naturally decreasing with age makes it even more critical every day. And I always say, if you want the most important energy ingredient, it's CoQ10. It's not NAD, it's not NMN, it's not NR. I'm constantly asked, why don't I have an NAD product? Why don't I have an NMN product? Why don't I have an NR product? Because I can't in good conscience and good ethics offer that product to you. The science isn't convincing, the science isn't compelling. If I offered that ingredient, what I would do is I'd combine it with CoQ10. And maybe if you think I should, I will, because then I'd feel okay, because at least you're getting the CoQ10. The NMN, the NR, the NAD, they're not harmful. I just don't see the science being that compelling, especially given how expensive that ingredient is. But if you want something that's just an absolutely incredible value, it's about 10% the cost it was 40 years ago, then this is the investment to make, especially with vitamin D. The vitamin D is absolutely free.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a choice of either with or without the vitamin D. I do the with vitamin D because why not have that added benefit? But it is absolutely, this month, it's a monthly special. So you can take advantage of this. You don't have to know that it's going to end tonight or anything like that, but it will end at the end of the month, and the pricing will go back up. So 30, 60, 180, or the 360 cap count. And then it's either with or without the D3. And I'm going to ask you, Andrew, if you could address why somebody would want to go with the D3 versus without.
Well, why not?
That's
it's
what I
free.
said.
So you're getting 2,000 IU of additional vitamin D3. If you don't need it because you're already taking your vitamin D3, that's fine, but a lot of folks do not. So you get our incredible vitamin D3 for absolutely free. And again, the real question is CoQ10. I've been talking about CoQ10 for 41 years. It's interesting that it took the industry over 20 years to finally catch up with me. They dismissed me, they poo-pooed my product, and of course, they eventually all jumped on the bandwagon. The science was always there. It's not like new science came through. It's just that those companies want to sell something that they can hype because they basically want to sell something. When I was initially talking about CoQ10, it was a huge investment that I made, that HSN made in education. It took a long time before the information about CoQ10 actually gained some traction. And now when you talk about, say if we talk about the research on NAD or NMN or NR, I would say that research, and I might be giving a little charity, it's not 75% of the research of CoQ10 or even 50% of the research, or even 25% of the research. It's probably less than 5% of the research. And it's not like it's just been discovered, because NAD's been around as long as we've known about CoQ10. We've known about NAD and NADH's role in the metabolism of our cells. It also transports electrons, but it hasn't been observed to be a rate-limiting component. It hasn't been observed to be something that as its levels change, cellular functionality changes. The research I look at on NAD is more a bit of grasping for straws. It's become a multi-billion-dollar industry, so a lot of folks are really convinced about it. I would love to be convinced. I would love to be able to talk about something that's equally beneficial, but when it comes to a small investment and an enormous impact and an enormous amount of science supporting that investment, it's simple, it's CoQ10.
I agree. And here it is at a monthly special price, $91570. So continue ordering whatever cap count and then either with or without the vitamin D. We're going to go ahead and move into our final value of today in this hour at least. And this is an incredible product, the Andrew Efficiency, which is the Efficiency Plus. It's a beautiful vitamin C drink with superior forms of all the key ingredients. And there are no calories. There are no, there's no sugar. There's no carbohydrates. hydrates. I'll get that out yet. And you can get them in these fantastic individual packets that are so convenient to be able to take with you on the go. So talk about it, reinventing the wheel with your very own, much more effective vitamin C packets. So this is our final monthly special to talk about today. We've got this in the 30/90 or the 180 count. And like I said, this is your chance to do the best thing to have the comprehensive energy that we all need. Not to mention the bladder support that and the support that it gives us because of the addition of the cranberry.
No, when you say, Callie, when you say bladder support, I'm thinking of something you would wear externally to support your bladder. No, what we all know, cranberry exerts, and the compounds present in cranberry naturally present, and there's all sorts of really compelling, convincing science. It's kind of the poster child, I say about cranberry, I say about turmeric, of a traditional ingredient that for thousands of years has been respected for its benefits, and modern science has validated those benefits. What's great about our cranberry pomegranate efficiency, you get the benefits of an incredible immune supportive vitamin C drink, energy supportive B complex beverage, so stress, energy, immune support. But when it comes to creating this delicious cranberry pomegranate flavor, we thought, what the heck, we'll just use our cranberry capsule. We'll see how that works. And it worked perfectly. So you get a capsule of our cranberry basically for free. So it's not just a cranberry flavor, it's the real cranberry capsule that we put in there. So not the capsule itself, but the powder that's inside the capsule. So it's incredibly delicious. So you get the urinary tract, kidney, bladder health support components in there, and you also get the vitamin C, you get the full B complex. There's truly nothing like it. I mentioned last night that I was lucky enough, a really kind person, a really intelligent person who developed the original vitamin C drink back in the late 1970s when I started my company, who was incredibly encouraging to me. That's when the vitamin industry was a nothing. Who was incredibly encouraging to me to pursue my dream, to pursue my interest. But he had developed the original vitamin C drink. So this is a way for me to show respect, kind of pay homage to the encouragement, the inspiration that he gave me, because we make sure that we use the proper ingredients, the proper form of vitamin C, the proper forms of all the B vitamins. It's not carbonated. It's harder to make it taste great without carbonation, but we've succeeded. And rather than getting 30, 40 empty calories of sugar, you get zero sugar, zero carb, and just 0 calories. So it's 100% benefit and 0 calories. And those beautiful colors, that's the cranberry. Those are the natural anthocyanins present in berries. So again, it's even protective and supportive of your vision with the anthocyanins it contains.
So this is the regular cranberry that I'm drinking.
And it's delicious.
It's so good. And there's also the mixed berry. I've always loved the cranberry pomegranate. It's so tasty. It doesn't have, there's no aftertaste.
Yeah, and the one we were going to focus on was the cranberry pomegranate, not the one that says, although we have the mixed berry available, the cranberry pomegranate, that's the formula. That's the one I would recommend. I find it most delicious. You get the extra bonus of cranberry, so it's an even better value. They're both extraordinary values. And there we go. And that's you get in each packet, you're getting the equivalent of a capsule of my cranberry. So I love the fact that it becomes this kind of crazy value, because 180 capsules of the cranberry alone has got to be somewhere around $30. So when you look at the cost per packet, it's just incredible savings.
And non-acidic vitamin C, by the way. So vitamin C, B complex, which is great for energy, and then D3 for stress. These are the packets, and they do come, they're individual like this. So you can, mix them on the go. They're so convenient and just such a nice multivitamin kind of support. So as I mentioned, this is another one of our monthly specials. All the sizing and all the pricing is good through the end of May, but you can see once again, it's just the time to stock up is when we see Andrew on a weekend, and we've got today's specials, which we just went through. And before our time, which has gone way too quickly, comes to an end, Andrew, I know that there's one more product which is so important, and it's a product I'm obsessed with, which is the Soleil, the incredible sunscreen that you bring to us. We've got about a minute or so. Do you have time? Do you have a second to chat about it?
Just a quick moment about
Yeah.
our Soleil. That's the only way to deliver sunscreen is going to be a mineral-based sunscreen. It's non-toxic. It's not absorbed through the skin. Zinc oxide is the preferred form. Non-nano zinc oxide, which we use, of course, which is better for the environment. Titanium dioxide is a second choice. Ours is a water-based formula, so it won't be greasy. Ours contains roughly probably a quarter of the ingredients of a typical sunscreen. It's simple, it's easy, it smells great. It even has cucumber extract to be soothing for the skin and also gives it a nice soothing fragrance as well. There's nothing like our sunscreen. The pricing is incredible, and we only do this once a year, so it's only while supplies last. So it's basically almost a buy one, get one free in all the sizes. We just do this from May until August or until the supplies last. So, and I don't think we have enough to last us through the summer. And then we will go into production again in the spring. And usually there's a run on it in the spring and then it disappears quickly. But there's no sunscreen like this in the world. It's ophthalmologist tested, it's dermatologist tested, it's pediatrician